Hey, hello, Javier. How are you? All good?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Good. Good to see you or hear you, let's say.
Hi.
Um, how is everything in Hong Kong?
Well, it's not particularly great. They've been having, I think, 600 cases daily or something like that. So they've really started clamping down on social distancing restrictions and all. So, shutting everything down. They're not allowing more than two people to gather in public, stuff like that, stopping people from visiting each other's houses. So, pretty extreme.
Here we go again, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, good. Well, I mean, Argentina seems to be normalizing, I think. Yeah, I think we had already 2 years of this. So let's hope.
Oh, over here, like in China, they'll probably, extend it for 3 to 4 years. You have no idea.
Man, that's sad. Okay, so I think the POAP should be um, on screen. So can you see it? Is it the right one? Um, we have also a lucky winner from last week who has a very unique POAP, who has the only POAP from the first, um, I mean, POAP distribution in the community calls. So congrats, that's going to be worth something in the future. Uh, um, Okay, so as you start scanning the POAP, I mean, I know you're not here to listen to anything I say, and I know you're here for the POAP, but that's fine. Not taking this personal. Um, so okay, let's go for the updates of the week. Um, I spent much of my time uh, thinking and writing and researching things regarding Kleros in the context of NFTs. Um, as you know, we have a Misu who is here doing some very interesting research on how we can use Kleros to resolve some processes regarding the verification of POAPs. POAPs. Well, kind of could be right. So of NFTs um, in connection to copyright infringement and to plagiarism and to people minting NFTs like to which they should not have the right to mint them or sell them. There's lots of discussions now in the IP world. I mean, lawyers are really interested in this, and there is the sense that we will need some type of system that resolves these claims like natively to the internet, let's say. So the experience we had in the past with the tokens app that we developed in order to curate a list of crypto assets and verify that they comply with a number of conditions, um, so can be applied into the world of NFTs. And well, Misu has done a really interesting and really deep work of research, how the policy should work. Well, he has already shared the uh, results of his early research, and now we're starting to do a pilot with this. So um, I I would give Misu the stage, but I know he's not going to to want to speak. So unless I'm wrong, maybe I'm wrong. Uh, just feel free to interrupt me, Misu, if you want to add something. If you don't, so people who are not in the group of NFTs, maybe someone can share here uh, the link, and so all the discussions are happening there. How we can apply Kleros for NFT curation. By the way, we also had a quite interesting session a couple of months ago at Arbitech community with Sophie. I see Sophie there, and we discussed basically what NFTs are and why why they are relevant for the future of intellectual property, and what are the main challenges regarding NFTs. So that's a really interesting thing that's been happening this week. Um, I'm going to present, if my talk is accepted at ETH Rio, about the NFT use case for Kleros. So that's the research I'm doing for. It's going to be put into that presentation. If they don't accept my talk, which I mean they have not got back to me with an acceptance so far, so we never know. I'm still going to present this at a side event that we are organizing for the, what day was this, Annabelle? Let me see. The 17th of March. So we're going to do a side event of Kleros, co-hosted by University in Rio, and then the Center for Mediation and Arbitration from Rio. So there's going to be an event at a nice restaurant, and mostly oriented at lawyers. And there's going to be also people from Mercado Libre, as I remember, and well, lots of people from the legal innovation, the community from Brazil. So
can we attend this online, or is it only an in-person event?
Annabelle, is it possible to attend online? I don't remember. I'm sure they're going to record it, but I'm not sure if it's going to be streamed.
That's a very good question. However, we have not taken care of the recording with the venue yet. The venue needs to give allowance for the recording. It should be fine, and we are going to try to make it possible to attend online.
Thanks. Let us know, because that would be great to be able to see it live as well.
Totally.
Yeah, so we will try to do it. And next week I'm also going to give a talk at a city in Argentina. It's called Mendoza, and it's going to be a quite interesting event organized by government there. It's about dispute solution in the metaverse. I'm going to, so there's going to be two speakers. One is yours truly, and the other is, and this, I think you might know him also, Sophie, is Juan Corbalan, who is maybe one of the world experts in AI and machine learning applied to law. So we're going to have like the two main, approaches, the machine learning for automation and, and game theory for, resolution with humans. So next week, I'm going to have this really cool event organized by the Supreme Court in this province of Mendoza. So, I'm sure this is going to be streamed, but I don't know, you have to speak Spanish, but I'm sure everyone speaks Spanish here. So that's going to happen next week. And then we are also starting to do some research. We're not starting, but we are continuing doing research on Kleros for content moderation. So I already mentioned last week the collaboration we were doing with Blue Sky. So I'm not going to get into that again, but now, as you know, the Aave team launched or are launching this new protocol for social networking called Lens. So we are researching this and see how Kleros could be plugged into this protocol for carrying out a number of activities connected to content moderation. We are going to probably do so when we have to tackle a hard problem, we do workshops with the team. We are going to do 1 in 2 weeks after we've researched this a bit more, and then we are going to see what is the best strategy for us to approach this problem. So that's another interesting evolution this week. We're still doing business development. This week we actually had maybe it's a coincidence, but we kind of had many people asking for a use case of Kleros that we could call bankruptcy court. Is for when there is liquidation of some asset in some DeFi protocol, and there is some insolvency event. And so there could be potentially like, a DAO becomes insolvent in some way. And then, you have the creditors that need to, to see if they give them more time to raise money or to liquidate all of the assets the DAO has. So we were asked if Kleros could be used as bankruptcy court, where the Kleros jurors, they would like maybe you would have like one proposal coming from the DAO of what they can pay, or another, something asked by the creditors of what they want to get, and then jurors will have to maybe decide between two offers. Which one makes more sense? That they could, for this purpose, they could check information like what is the treasury of the DAO or any other information that we need to figure out, because it's just happening this week. To be honest, this is a use case we had not. That this is I never thought of this one. But
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, Fede, because even traditional arbitration, insolvency questions are not arbitrable. They are the preserve of the national courts, if only because obviously arbitration is a consensual process, and you cannot have all the creditors. First of all, you don't know them all, and you cannot have all of them agree to a private process as opposed to something that is state run. So that's really interesting. What country approached you from? Where did it originate?
The metaverse.
On the metaverse, I can completely see it because it's there are no rules at the moment. I was just curious to see if it was an actual physical country.
Yeah, I'm still wrapping my head around this. But yeah, it kind of makes sense because, at some point you might have some, DAO insolvency. And DAOs still have some assets. They have some assets. So, but I'm still wrapping my head around, in which specific situation would this make insolvency happen? The DAO had some assets as collaterals in some DeFi, and then there's crash in the market, and then these assets become insufficient to cover the losses. And but a big thing happening in the time to come. So for now, all DeFi protocols, they are over collateralized. So in order to have like this buffer in case there is a crash in the market, which happens quite often. But if we want DeFi to look a bit more like a traditional financial system, for good or for bad, you need to be able to do like loans that are not over collateralized, because it's a big restriction. So you have like different ways to do this. Like one of this is like having your reputation on the line of some reputation token, or future UBIs you will going to collect in your account after you register in Proof of Humanity. Those could be your collateral. So there are lots of different, financially, creative ways to structure this. But so when this happens, there's probably going to be insolvency situations. So we got approached by two protocols this week, asking for whether Kleros could be used for this. And well, of course it can. We just need to figure out exactly what is the right incentive structure and the right mechanism design for this to happen. So this is early stage still, but it's exciting to see like how people keep coming with new use cases for Kleros that we honestly had not thought of, right? So we had that. I will let William speak a bit about the research, and maybe comment a bit on the discussions we had today on the Telegram. Maybe there are some things to add there.
Yeah, so sort of my general conversational research is very similar to the one I give in the past couple of weeks. Fede, you have you had like everyone that isn't the research team, you can comment on all of their things and you can like talk on all these interesting points. Whereas I feel I always say the same thing every week because research is sort of like it's progressing, but in a sort of at like a normal pace. But the main thing that I've been working on over the past few weeks, and the people who've been on this call recently have already heard me talk about it, is a paper we're writing on griefing factors and the idea of griefing. So for those who haven't already heard it, this is an idea that was originally due to Vitalik, and it's sort of an extension of economic literature on sabotage, and that like traditional economic literature on sabotage considers like games where you have set payoffs that some parties have an interest in like preventing the other parties from doing well, like having other parties do worse increases your own payoff, but that's like built into the payoff of the game. Maybe you're like a competitor or something, and Vitalik had this interesting idea of measuring like this sort of idea without needing to know what people's payoffs are in advance for sabotaging other people, where you can measure sort of the effectiveness of sabotage via what he calls a griefing factor, which looks at the amount of like harm you have to do to yourself, the cost of the like doing the sabotage, to the amount of harm you did to the other person. And the griefing factor is the harm you did to the other person divided by the harm you did to yourself. So if you like destroy €5 of the other person's value and it only cost you €1, and you have a griefing factor of 5. And I've been researching things related to this. Like we kept griefs and griefing factors in mind when we were designing like all the versions of Kleros, but particularly the view 2 of Kleros. If you read the yellow paper, there are segments on sort of the analysis of various griefs, and we're sort of generalizing some of these thoughts we've had into a broader academic article that will have broader interest. And if anyone comes to East Dubai or watches that online, I'm going to talk about some of these ideas in that talk. So I invite you to look out for that. Beyond that, so you mentioned the conversation we had on Telegram today. There were some questions around the use of the proof of humanity screen for having one juror, one vote, and what that would mean for sort of like people's relative odds of juror selection and security of the court. So there were concerns. I forget who on Telegram had these concerns, but someone had interesting, legitimate concerns that like if all jurors were drawn with equal chances, then, for example, particularly because the current version of proof of humanity is like not anonymous, people would be less inclined to stake in courts because they would have to dox themselves to like connect their sort of like large, their PNK stakes to their public identity. And then maybe, you get fewer jurors, and that could actually decrease the security of the courts, even as you like have this sort of more democratic principle of having individual people rather than sort of token weighted voting. And indeed, like this is something that we've thought about, and I have some responses to these questions on Telegram for anyone who's interested. But the plan for V2 is that this will be something that is a parameter from court to court, so that not all courts will have this proof of humanity screen for being drawn as a juror. And in fact, we don't think it's a good idea to use proof of humanity as a screen for courts that decide cases or whether people are on proof of humanity or not. So in the humanity court and the general court, where those cases appeal to, because then you can get sort of circular security guarantees. If someone like managed to hack proof of humanity, which we think it's robust, but like if someone ever managed to get tons of proof of humanity profiles, then there would be like a snowball effect where they could use their profiles to vote for new profiles and get more and more weight. So you probably want the current version voting system to like have a stopgap where you appeal to a you have a case, or at least if you appeal, but probably in the humanity court, you have like the current voting system to make that not viable. So they're interesting ideas about how you balance these sort of democratic versus like security concerns, and we've thought about all of them. I encourage people to read the sections of the yellow paper.
Yeah, I mean, we are kind of, it's not just Kleros, all of governance in blockchain. It's kind of, you have like these two like poles. I mean, on one side you have the one token, one vote, which is seen as plutocratic by people on the other side, right? And then you have one person, one profile, one vote, which is seen probably as minority crushing by people on the side of the one token, one vote. I don't know what your thoughts are on this, William. Generally speaking, not on Kleros.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think to quote like a subtitle of Vitalik in one of his blog posts, plutocracy is still bad, or something like that. I mean, you don't you don't want to, like, all else being equal, plutocracy is bad. But this sort of one token, one vote can give like a more robust security model than some other approaches. I think that Kleros in particular has some advantages in compared to other things that can be plutocratic in blockchain spaces, like other kinds of like types of governance vote and such. In that, like, you imagine in sort of like a midterm future, if there are tons of cases on Kleros, like one human being won't be able to do them all, without, like doing excessive effort. They're never, for a governance platform, there are never going to be all that many governance proposals at any given time. And currently with Kleros, we've had like 1,000 some odd cases, which is great. But like, plausibly one person could analyze all those cases if they spent a lot of time being a Kleros juror, if they were some gigantic whale and got drawn every case. But if you have enough cases, then the whale is not going to want to, like, they have a choice between voting randomly, which the system is designed to disincentive so they would lose money over time, actually analyzing all those cases, or de-staking and like having a more reasonable stake, that like reflects the amount of cases they can actually analyze. Like realistically, the sort of human effort aspects of Kleros push you towards less plutocracy, I think. So at least we have that advantage. But
yeah, well, yeah, there you go. So those are the things we have been thinking about research. Maybe you can comment a bit on the experiment you're going to do at Assas also.
Yeah, so I mean, I assume none of you are people are like students at Paris 2. If you are, like,
just
please
leave the room. Leave the room.
Yeah, like I don't want to spoil our experience. People who actually be part of it, but I assume none of you are actually going to be part of this experiment. But the idea is that we want to like validate some of our voting system like properties that are detailed in the yellow paper, of like what kinds of voting systems have like good aggregation properties in kind of a Schelling-based social choice theory world. So remember, in like traditional voting, like voting for like national elections and stuff, there are all these like paradoxes that come with the fact that like fundamentally, like, you can't have a voting system that is nice on every point. This relates to Arrow's impossibility theorem. There are also all these like weird theorems that are like, there will be scenarios where like if your preferred candidate like will win unless you join the election, and then by like voting for them you cause them to lose. This is called the participation criteria. Some voting systems have this, some voting systems like like have paradoxes where they don't have that. So anyway, like we have in the yellow paper we have a table of sort of the properties we think are important for Schelling point style social choice theory, which is a bit different, because we have sort of different priorities, because we have these sort of economic incentives which are different than the incentives people normally have in normal elections, that they just want their candidate to win. And we're trying to validate some of those. So in particular, we have like a color game where people are going to be shown colors that are sort of like slightly different, and they're going to be asked to like rank which one, how close they are to some like ground truth color that is like briefly flashed that they don't get to see for very long. And they don't necessarily, like they'll be able to rank multiple choices. There'll be some margin of error because like it's hard to determine which colors are necessarily the closest. And then we'll look at how the sort of different voting systems sort of aggregate these votes. They'll be rewarded or penalized according to sort of Kleros voting and system incentive systems. They use the word system too many times, but according to the incentive systems.
That's it. Don't mention, because you're going to reveal all the experiment, and it was my yeah. So an experiment. Are going to share with you the results as
sure.
I should probably not have even mentioned. Shin, please don't put this into the the write-up you make after the call. I mean, this never happened. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So if any of you is from Assas, so contact us and you will get a very special follow-up for today. But you cannot mention anything that you heard. I mean, today. Okay, so that is going on as well as part of our research on how to improve our mechanism design. V2 still working. As I mentioned in the last call, we intend to make a demo for you. We're just now coding the interface for so we can show you how it works. Still, we don't have the exact date when we can do the demo because, as we move forward, software development, it takes time. But I hope it's not going to take like a lot more before you can see the first and early version of of the next version. Okay, so you see, so I think I've covered most, and then lots of administrative stuff I've been doing with Annabelle regarding financial reports and it's boring administrative stuff that you have to do when you are the CEO basically, but accounting and because as I mentioned, we are going to publish as soon as we finish this financial report part, the community report update, so where you can see what we have been doing over the past 6 months, all in one very nice and lean post. So we're just waiting for the final. I think now the final charts to be drawn, right, Annabelle? That's the only thing left, right?
This is ready on my side. We can see when we can publish it, but we have really reached the end of that. My financial information is added and ready.
Well, there you go. So this is going to come very, very soon.
Yes, in the next days.
Yeah, I think I don't have anything else. Annabelle, anything you want to add from your side?
Yes. So this is about the events, the conferences we are going to participate to. There will be first Rio. We talked a bit about the Kleros side events. I have very interesting things cooking for that event. I took note about the recording of the morning session we will have with different talks. We have interest from very interesting speakers that one of them will also come from another city in Brazil, so we are a bit more representative. That's very exciting. I will do my best to have a good staging to record as well the talk and live stream it. There will be also a lunch after this morning, and there will be also I'm doing my best to get a very interesting street artist to perform and to also question the concept of NFT from the perspective of an artist himself. He's going to question the concept and also propose something interesting and engaging for the participants. I'm really looking for. I cannot tell you more because we really want to communicate on that later. But this is going to be amazing. So if you are going to E3O, keep in touch to be sure that you have your tickets to this event. About Dubai now, we are going to go. So it's going to be Clément, William, JB and Alesh are going to be there. We will be participating to the main event. I'm trying to organize a side event, but I announced you a date in the past weeks, which was the 1st or 2nd of April, but it will not be on that date. It will be before, probably the 29th. But yes, as soon as we can announce it, we will, and you can meet us there in Dubai.
Good. And also, if you are in East Denver, we have there's Rusty there. So if you want to speak about Kleros there, also we have one member that's representing Kleros there. So feel free to reach to him. So yeah, we're like all around. You know, it's Denver, it's Rio, it's Dubai, and then in July in Paris, as we always do, as you know, the team meeting there. And in DevCon, well, back in the time when DevCon used to happen.
Yeah, and also at Tech Sylvania in Romania.
Oh, in Pennsylvania, yes, because we have Radu, Andrei, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're everywhere now. I think that's, yeah, I don't have much more to comment today. I don't know if you have any question or you just want to leave with your POAP. That's fine either.
Oh yeah, we didn't get any POAP. Apparently it's not working. So
yeah, I was going to tell you, and I cannot explain why is that, but we had the link for the room. It's not possible to claim the POAP, and the page doesn't refresh. So what we are going to do, I'm going to take it from scratch, contact the support, get links for you to claim it. You can reach out to me with a message like, I was in the call, don't forget me for the POAP link, so that you can just claim it.
And I will take some screenshots of this because
yeah, exactly.
I want the opportunity. Take screenshots of who is there. So I'm going to take one as well. Yeah. So there you go. And also, this retroactive POAP claims is going to be useful for potentially future integrations with potential.
maybe we can create a court for it. I didn't get my POAP court.
Well, you can just reveal the strategy because that's what we are thinking. I think I already said it. I can mention it. That's a use case we discussed with POAP actually. They have this. Lots of people, including me, went to lots of conferences in the past, and well, they didn't claim their POAP because they said, "Well, who cares about this? It's I'm too busy. I don't care." But now they see that POAP is a big thing, and oh man, why didn't I claim my DEFCON 2019 POAP? Because now it's really cool to have that, POAP. So yeah, they have this problem because everyone wants to claim all the POAPs. How would they handle the thousands and thousands of people who want to claim? I was at DEFCON 1 POAP. I want my DEFCON 1 certificate of attendance, which is, in some years, maybe having being at DEFCON 1 is going to be like the big thing, So you could potentially use a kind of Kleros curation, use case for deciding who actually has a credible claim to having been in those events and who is just full of, So then there you go. This is also something we are discussing. But yeah, we'll see. Anything else, guys, you want to discuss or to ask?
I have one question here. There's been some activity going on the GitHub, on the V2 GitHub in particular, with some test contracts being deployed, and one of those being a home gateway for Arbitrum. So has the home rollup actually been determined yet, or is this just purely for testing purposes?
It's possible that it's going to be Arbitrum.
Okay.
It's possible. It's not, it's possible it will be another one, but it's also possible it's going to be Arbitrum. That's all I can say about it at the moment.
All right. Thanks, Federico.
Anything else, guys? Okay. Well, then see you on Telegram. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Okay, see you.